dear sisters, I am pregnant. Currently, I don't know who is responsible. The first guy I suspect is my ex-boyfriend. We broke up and made up at some point, but he didn't kick it off again. When we broke up, I found another guy and started dating. We've been dating for only 2 months and now I am pregnant. It's probably for my ex-boyfriend because it happened often between the two of us. It could also be for my current boyfriend because we were intimate within the same time frame. I confessed to my current boyfriend because I didn't want to give another man's child to someone else. I narrated the story of how it happened. And while dating him, I got back to my ex. He wasn't angry. He didn't judge me. He calmly told me, "It's fine. You give birth first. If it's mine, I will take it. And we will continue from there. Even if it's not mine, we'll still keep it as ours. Don't say anything to your ex." I want to believe him, but I've only dated him for 2 months, so I don't know much about his temperament. What if in the future he uses it against me? That's if the baby is his. I want to run away from both of them and take care of everything myself. He keeps begging me not to do anything funny. He's with me at any given chance, thinking I might run away. I'm confused and I don't know what to do or say to him to leave me alone. What should I do? Sisters, how are you going to advise this? Olivia.
Basically, right now, she wants to figure out what to do, whether she should stay with this guy or she should go. Honestly, it would be hard for me to sit here and tell her what to do.
Exactly.
It's a tough one. It's hard. The reason being, there's going to be so many consequences either which way. But at the end of the day, the latter, which I think I would tell her to do, will be to take her child and make peace with herself and be with herself and find a new, like, start off on a clean slate.
That is if she can take care of the child.
But you don't necessarily need, she can't take care of her child. I think so. Because you know the consequences of living with, okay, today this guy is like, okay, no problem, give me, I'll take the child. Tomorrow, sleepless nights. And then when you also decide to actually have a family with this guy, how is it going to look? Is it going to be like, okay, now you actually have a child with him? Is there going to be preferential treatment between them? Maybe this guy too, you never know, he's genuine. Maybe
he can't have children and he's using that to cover up.
We all don't know, but it's very confusing. That's all I can say. This is a tough one for me, honestly, but you have to think about it carefully. And please, in the future, I beg, I know it's hard, but please don't do that. Because right now, to me, it's unfair. Like, you can't take this one sperm and leave the other sperm. The child is already growing. Do you see what I mean?
Twin sperm.
No.
Rosie.
I just thought to it like, yes.
Take Lado and Sorry.
We have strange stories where some very honorable men have knowingly looked after children they know aren't theirs. Sometimes because of the circumstances under which they were born. In this case, the man knows that probably the very first day they met, they probably had an affair, the very first day. And then going forward, they sat down and said, look, I want to have a relationship. And he probably feels they have something. And he knows that it's not like she cheated on him.
Yes.
So
she opened up.
She opened up, and she was truthful. He didn't have to find out after taking care of a child for 50 years to realize that this child wasn't mine because of some jackpot move, and you have to do some DNA and then realize that the child is not yours. So there are some men like that who take these things. But what the learning point I'll take is that, look, let's stop jumping into sex
too early. Too quickly. Like having a relationship for 2 months, you people haven't been through anything to know
how to even survive this relationship, to know whether this man is someone you truly want to be with, to know whether this is somebody you want to. Right now, you may be forced to have a life with him because of the child. If you give birth to the child, for instance, and the child happens to be his, then it means that you are locked with this guy without really knowing whether this is somebody I really want to be with. For me, it's a challenge. When you break up with somebody, it's important. Look, somebody that you've been with and, you know, thinking that you're going to be with the person and then you break up, what business do you have jumping into somebody else's bed within 3-4 days? Because ovulation period is like maybe 4 to 6 days sort of. So it means that you broke up and within a couple of days you're already in somebody's bed. You know, let's stop doing things like that. Let's be intentional.
Without a condom.
Yes, let's be intentional about who we are going to be with, what the intention is, especially as women, because society doesn't forgive us very much when we do things like that. And number 3, she made a comment that she's thinking about dogging the 2 men and going to take care of her own children. For me, that's a confident statement. And for me, it speaks volumes. Maybe she's somebody who is capable, has the financial muscle. So, and she also made a comment like this man is hovering around her at the slightest instance to make sure that he doesn't do anything funny to the baby. I'm asking, is this a no quick baby, a beer boy who has enough time on his hands, probably thinks that having a baby with this girl is actually
securing
a future plan to secure himself onto greater things. So I'm at a loss because the normal Ghana,
Sorry.
the one that is for themselves, Charlie, you know what I mean? They are not seeing top. So to take somebody else's child, if it's a Ghanaian man, and be very calm and collected about it, is there a bigger end goal?
Plan.
Is there a bigger plan? Is it that you are so well to do that the man doesn't mind fathering another man's child with you? Because in effect, when he gets married to you, both of you sort of like, you know, he stands to benefit. What are the issues? So, but like Olivia said, when it comes to issues of the heart, especially when there's no abuse in there, there's no, we can't sit here and tell you exactly what to do. We can only lay the cards on the table for you, and then you would have to make your own decision. You would have to decide your ex versus this one. Who do you want to be with? Who do you want to spend your life with? I'm sure your ex is not one because you've moved on. There's a reason why the person is your ex. This new guy, if there was no child in the equation, is he somebody you want to be with? And like Olivia said, she feels the hanging around her is like a worry. If I was with a man and the man says, oh, no matter who the child belongs to, I call the man, I should be elated. I should be excited that he's around me. But the fact that you're not excited that he's around you, I'm beginning to question that, was it just a moving on, like as in...
It's a rebound.
Was it just a rebound, or he's somebody you really, really want to be with? And I keep saying that, look, even the people that you want to be with, that want to be with you, it's not easy. So as much as possible, try and be with somebody who also wants to be with you and you want to be with. So these are decisions you have to take for yourself. We can only lay the cards on the table for you. But unfortunately, the final decision, the power is yours. Power to the people.
You know, as usual, I would like to look at this from a couple of angles. First of all, you had no business dating and sleeping with 2 men in such close distance. One, you just broke up with your ex, meaning you didn't even take time to rest, to heal, to think through that relationship, to get introspective and know what went wrong, what can I do right in this in my next relationship. You just jump from one relationship to the next. Secondly, in 2 months of being with someone, you are already assuming or thinking you're pregnant with the person, meaning you started sleeping with the person too early. What happened to at least dating someone for 3 months before jumping into their bed?
7 days.
you need to get to know a person. There's a reason why there's such a thing as take some time, at least 3 months, to know someone before you start sleeping with them. Because sex is such a tricky thing. It clouds your judgments on a lot of things. You know, it makes you succumb to things that you are not probably ready to, that you ideally wouldn't succumb to if you hadn't had sex with that person. So I always advise that it's the worst thing you can do is to sleep with someone way too early than necessary. I don't know why, for some strange reason, I always think I'm woke. But when it comes to that particular thing, I'm so careful. Because humans are funny. Once you have sex with someone, there's just ways and things that pop up and ways people behave that you didn't see before that. Get to know this person a bit more before you even start thinking of having a child with the person. Because already, being in a relationship is such a tricky thing already. And now coming to add a child in the midst, especially when you don't know this person too well, is a bit uncomfortable for me. Because even if the guy is saying yes, 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 why is he saying yes? There's a question mark. Why is he so comfortable with the idea that you are pregnant?
I feel like he probably
and
doesn't
you're
have a child.
Exactly.
He can't make
it
children.
seems like someone who has
that's a
something
problem.
he's hiding. So that's why for me, I would advise strongly that based on the circumstances around this, even if you are someone that is comfortable and can do it all on your own, can take care of a child all on your own, I still think you should take some time to reflect. And if you are
Because
still
what
not
are you even going
comfortable-
to tell the child?
Exactly. So best thing to avoid any drama in future, because I don't know, it's just not sitting well with my
messy.
spirit. It's a bit too messy and murky. I think you should go away from these two people and try to. But you see, having
are
a
you
child
going
on
to
your
tell the
own.
child?
You see, people think getting pregnant and having a child on your own. Well, some women have done it. I know a couple of people who have done it, but it's still something I wouldn't advise anybody to do. Waking up at night all by
It's not
yourself,
reflex, yeah.
turning around and flipping around in a bed all by yourself, especially when you are late in your pregnancy, and doing everything by yourself without any help, somebody to comfort you, somebody to encourage you,
it's draining.
is very draining. And I don't advise any woman to go that journey all alone. It's something that scares the life out of me personally. So for all these reasons, I don't think she should be doing this. And after this is all said and done, once she's able to take one of the things we've said on this panel today, moving forward, she has to be careful. Because aside from even sleeping with someone early and all the drama that can come with it, not knowing the person, what if the person has some diseases like HIV? You haven't figured that out. What if the person is a wizard? We always say witches, but there are wizards out there. There are men with all kinds of foul spirits out there. You don't know this person, you know, and we don't talk about this enough.
So
There are wizards. The word wizard is a word. There are men who are walking out there and they have foul spirits.
So what are your thoughts, or what would you say is the best time to sleep with someone?
I think you should know somebody at least 3 months.
Okay.
At least 3 months.
So you work with the 90 days
Yes,
rule?
I work with 90 days.
Olivia?
Marry.
Okay, wait till you get married.
Yes.
Okay. So what if you get married and...
Yeah, come you didn't ask me.
Wait, I'll come to you. So what if you get married and it's not working or something?
How is it that it's not working?
So, I don't know.
No, but you see, but
Like,
there are
yeah,
tests, there are ways of knowing.
There's so
you
many
see,
ways, and there's during your courtship, during counseling, there's so many ways to find out medically whether your husband has a perfect erection, whether they're, pardon?
No, a lot of people don't disclose that until you get into it and you're like...
No, medically, no.
You don't want to have sex with them.
You don't want to have sex with them.
You try kissing them. You see whether
them.
the thing rises
you
or
can.
not.
You can
know,
tell.
if the soldiers are dead,
You should be able to tell, you know. And it was interesting. Recently, my husband and I were having a conversation. I think we were talking about this same, somebody was going to get married, and then the conversation came about how would you know whether the person is, you know. And then he asked me one question, and I was like, when we were dating, it never crossed my mind whether his penis was going to be erect or not. And I was like, interesting.
Because
it
probably,
never
you were
crossed my
younger.
mind. For me personally,
yeah, probably you were younger. Your mind is not there. Your mind is, okay, let's get married.
Yeah, maybe it's,
Yes.
then again, too, it all stems down from how I was probably programmed growing up. Like, abstinence is always the best. Wait till you get married. So the things that people worry about, I didn't worry about.
That's the best route.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like I've learned what I need to learn over the years. And
Yeah, so Rosie, What are your own rules?
I won't say it again. Because the real one or the ideal one?
The ideal one.
Okay, so ideally, I think the best thing is to wait until you get married. Like Sicho said earlier on, you see, sex has a way of clouding your judgment about things. And especially for women, once you are sexually involved with somebody,
you're in love.
Stepping, no, it's not you're in love. Sometimes you don't love the person, but the fact that the person has tasted, detaching
It's like
yourself.
you feel like you've invested.
You've invested, yes. Detaching yourself becomes difficult. So when you see a man and the man is misbehaving, but the person has, has like
Done the thing.
yes, actually he has enjoyed song.
seen your
So
nakedness,
why should I move on? It's like some of your investment is there. It becomes like a lost investment, and sometimes you want to stay in there to reap your investment, and you end up staying somewhere when you're not supposed to stay. So ideally, once you get married and then you have sex, and then you know that yes, you can even enjoy it and whatever. But this world is not pepe. All fingers are not equal. There are people who have slept on the first day and they've had a beautiful relationship. They've led to marriage and they're enjoying happily ever after. There are people too who have abstained till marriage and then they are not seen top. There are people who have waited for some time for their hearts to be in the right place and then they do it. Whichever the case is, my policy is that own it. When I'm saying own it, it should be your decision. You should be responsible for it. When something happens and a man leaves you, don't say, and he slept with me. No, both of you did it. Own it. Make sure that this is something you want to do and you're willing to live with the consequences. So once you know the consequences of what you are doing as an adult, I can't tell you whether 1 day, 90 days, 1 year, or till marriage. But ideally, everybody should wait till marriage.
All right.
So that you can enjoy
Another
it.
thing I want to add, it looks like a lot of us don't realize that there are so many ways you can prevent pregnancy from occurring these days. There's so many ways. There's coitus interruptus. There is. I'm listing ways.
No. It's not a way. Please.
Let's use a condom first.
Okay.
No,
and
the
using condoms.
It has disappointed people. Please.
Well, I am listing ways that we have been taught. Okay.
No,
there is condom, and even especially that it's only very recent that you started sleeping with this person. The best option
Condom.
for you would have been condom, but there is also coitus interruptus. There is Postino, these other other brands where you after morning pill.
I don't think she wanted
there is
to,
secure.
I don't think.
I think she didn't. She
yes.
wasn't expecting to be pregnant.
No, well, apart from that, I don't think she was even matured enough to be someone that counts or check her periods, the dates and everything. She would have even known.
Personally, I'm old enough, but I don't check those free. What do you call it?
You don't have an app?
I do, but I do. Without the app, I cannot sit there and think of it myself that, okay, this is a safe period.
I know
don't.
they are in as I'm
Okay,
here.
so the point I'm trying to make is to be safe, find a method that works for you. If you are not ready to get pregnant, you are better off not getting pregnant at all than to get pregnant and think of abortion or think of how to carry the baby or think about what to do with the baby that you didn't want in the first place.
All right.
Prevent it.
To quickly
Prevent it.
To just quickly add to all that the sisters have said. Sometimes, we get so muddled up in life and then sex and then this and then that. Sometimes I would like to use this opportunity to just go a step further to say relationships must not always be about sex or sleeping with this one to keep this person, or sometimes we should just go back. A relationship is very serious. It's more of a spiritual journey. I ask that you try and seek God while you're going to embark on a relationship like that, because it can make or it can mar you. Let's build stronger relationship with God. Let's also think about our morals. Let's also think about our ethics. Let's also think about what we're going to pass down to our children. So I know it's tough, but in this day and age, we can't be even more careful. The world has become such a cruel place. Guard your heart with all diligence, and by all means, keep your body as a temple of God. It's tough, but God makes it easier.
Amen.
Amen.
On that note,
Amen.
it's time for us to take a quick break. And when we come back, I will be, sharing my final thoughts. But a very big thank you to the sisters for today's episode. Yeah, we'll be back. All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Sister, and right now it's time for me to share my final thoughts. The last letter we just read, let me start from there. I think I would agree with everything the sisters said, and most especially when you break up with someone or when you end a relationship with someone, it's actually very important to rest, take care of yourself. Take a moment to love yourself. I don't understand how people just jump into something the next day. And also, the whole sex thing, yes, sex really clouds a lot of judgment. So it's important to, take your time before you even get into sex with someone. And most importantly, even if you're going to get into sex, what happened to condoms? It's like sleeping with someone this week, and then the next week you're sleeping with another person, or even the next 2 days you're sleeping with another person. I don't get it. You don't want to protect yourself. The second letter, which was the first letter about a young girl who overreacted in the club when she met her boyfriend with someone else after her friend had called her. I think it's really important to realize that some attitudes that we have as human beings could actually mess up things for us. Maybe let's even think about it as, okay, it could have been someone that could have changed the life of your boyfriend. Let's say a business, or maybe someone that your boyfriend wanted to even connect you with that could change your life in some way. I think it's important to keep our jealousy and insecurities at bay sometimes and just relax and then watch. Relax and watch before you actually find out the outcome. And I think a lot of times, a lot of girls or a lot of women or a lot of ladies think being ghetto and loud is some sort of flex. Oh yes, I will show you. I will get you. You are this, you are that. You have the biggest mouth. You can insult. Yeah, when you insult, you shake things and people will be praising you. You have very bad mouth. Sometimes it's a very crass behavior. It's a very, very crass behavior sometimes. Like be patient. Just look out for what's happening. Be quiet sometimes and just observe. That is what we need to learn to do. And I think if you would have done that, you would have found out that, okay, this person probably is just a harmless person with my boyfriend. It's just his family member. It's just his friend. It's just his work colleague or something like that. But you had to, go out there and be very gaga because you are showing strength. And at the end of the day, it didn't go as planned. But maybe, too, at the end of the day, it's also God's plan for you not to be with this person. So, yeah, you can just sulk, but move on. Forget about them and forget about that, your best friend. Ladies and gentlemen, so we've come to the end of the program. A very big thank you to Cindy, Rice, and Gino for holding us down. And also, thank you to each and every one of you for joining us on this episode of Sister. My name is Chris Carter. Thank you.